Hi, I'm Lauren SECHRIST, and I will be moderating a roundtable discussion for the student government presidential and vice presidential candidates for the two tickets, Comet Alliance and S.A.V.E, Students Advocating Voice and Expansion. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves to the candidates.
Hello everyone, my name is RAJIV Dwivedi, and I'm a sophomore majoring in chemistry from New Delhi, India. I'm the presidential candidate on the ticket S.A.V.E, Students Advocating Voice and Expansion.
Hi, I'm Alejandro Chinchilla, and I'm a sophomore accounting major from Austin, Texas, and I'm the presidential candidate on the Comet Alliance ticket.
Hi, my name is Nate Fairbank. I am an undeclared freshman from Springfield, Missouri, and I am running for vice presidential on the S.A.V.E ticket.
I'm Roy James Holliday, born and raised in Georgetown, Texas. I'm a historical studies major, going from a junior year to senior year, and I'm the vice presidential candidate on the ticket Comet Alliance.
All right, let's get started. We'll start with Comet Alliance. What is your platform? And keep it to about one sentence.
Accountability, accessibility, and community. I feel those three things build on each other, and that's why we chose it as our platform.
Okay, and S.A.V.E will go with the same question.
Students Advocating Voice and Expansion, more student input, more campus expansion, and defending the referenda.
Okay. So this is again a question that's for both tickets. How are you planning to engage students very practically? Again, keep it pretty short, but we'll start with S.A.V.E this time.
I think that it's really important for student government to have a relationship with the student body. And part of that is changing the culture at UT Dallas, and part of that is aggressive outreach programs. So the S.A.V.E initiatives that we have planned out for next year include visibility on campus, being at events, being there, being available to the public, building a diverse ticket, which we've already started. We have representatives, we have a veteran on the ticket, we have graduate students, we have international students. We want to make sure that all demographics are represented by their senators. And the third component is aggressive online outreach through things like Facebook, other forms of social media, and aggressive use of surveying software such as Qualtrics to make sure that every student has a chance to let their voice be heard.
Okay, Comet Alliance.
Well, when me and James sat down to talk, our big thing was having a personal face with the student body. And so we're going to put ourselves out there, not just online presence, but also a face-to-face presence. And this starts with holding senators more accountable. They need to be well informed on the topic so they can better present it to students. And also accessibility. We want to build an online database where students can go and search for different issues they want to talk about and research further. And I feel if we have a strong database that's easy to use and easy to navigate, the students can see their concerns more visibly.
Okay. Again, we'll start with S.A.V.E this time. And what are your work styles? You guys chose to run together for a reason. What are your work styles? How do they complement one another?
Starting with me, personally more of like traditional person. I like to keep things simple, straightforward, really honest. And with Nate, I know he has different perspectives on things. We just have different viewpoints that complement each other, and that makes us a great team.
Okay. As we answer questions, make sure you are looking to the camera person, just FYI. But same question for you guys. What are your work styles and how do they complement one another?
Alejandro is very fiery. He's kind of he rallies everybody on the ticket together. He's the one that advocates for all of our issues.
And James is very persistent with his work. He's always well informed on topics before we meet. He makes sure to study our meeting agenda, and when I meet with him, like when I first met with him, I was surprised by the amount of knowledge he knew, and that was why I chose him to be a running mate.
Okay, great. So this is a question specifically for S.A.V.E. We realize that you chose your ticket name very strategically, so why would you say that UT Dallas needs to be saved?
When we first started thinking about our platform, one of the most important things was student outreach. Because we cannot claim ourselves to be the official student voice. Student government cannot be the official student voice if we are not reaching out to students. So that was just one of the most important points we focused on. And that's why we felt that as senators, we needed to reach out to them. And the second most important point was expansion. Expansion in terms of auxiliary services, in terms of infrastructure, because we'll be hitting 22,000 students this upcoming fall. And to sustain this dynamic growth, we need to make sure that we're providing them services. That's how we're going to have high retention rates, and we're going to maintain our academic and intellectual standards of the university.
And if I can add one more thing. If I had to say there was one thing that UT Dallas needs to be saved from, it's apathy. We need to have a better relationship as student representatives with the student body, make sure that students are involved and passionate about the issues and about the school that they attend. And I think that the time for that is now. We're seeing more and more students move on campus, and we have a unique opportunity in terms of the lifespan of UT Dallas and in terms of its history to make a positive change for the university that will impact generations of students to come.
Okay. And this is for Comet Alliance, specifically for Alejandro. You've never held an officer position in SGU before, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you think this will impact your ability to lead as president?
I've been involved in many organizations throughout my tenure at UTD, and I've taken on various leadership positions that let me see the dynamics of working with being the leader or being someone that reports to the leader. A big thing this year was I joined the rugby team, and we started from scratch. But what really impressed me was the hard work and dedication every member had, and that's what I want to translate to Senate. Every member of our team put in their hard work, they practiced, and they were very, very dedicated, which led us from losing 0 games and eventually winning a state championship. If any of y'all were at the game, there were 400 students, and it was the first time in my 2 years here that I felt a sense of school pride. There were people chanting out, "Go UTD, go green, go Comet, swoosh." And as a player on the field, just seeing 400 people like passionate about the university, that's what I want to bring to student government. And that's why I feel I can be an effective leader.
Okay. So this question is for S.A.V.E specifically again. We've heard rumors that a lot of your members left the ticket during filing. Can you explain why this might have happened or how that?
If you don't mind. It wasn't so much left, is the election system is actually being revised in student government right now. We've had several meetings about amending the Constitution because the system's broken. The way it works right now is that you have to fill specific slots in the system on the ticket. So you can only have, say, one junior for engineering and computer science. So the result is we had a lot of people who we really felt were passionate about being senators, and what it came down to was just there wasn't enough space on the ticket. So sadly, like some people just could not be a part. So these gentlemen formed another ticket. They were a lot of people actually ended up joining their ticket, which I mean is great for them. I think that they have some very talented people, but yeah, it's just an aspect of the election system that is broken.
Okay. So this is kind of along the same lines for Comet Alliance. You guys registered pretty last minute. So what took you so long to register your ticket, and do you think that being late in the game will hurt your campaign?
I'll answer that. Well, I was originally part of Raj's ticket, but there's just differentiating opinions and different leadership styles. And a big problem in Senate, I noticed, is that senators were coming not informed on subjects, and I wanted to raise their accountability, just not for them, but also for the constituents they represent. If they're not coming well informed to meetings, that means they're not going out and putting their faces out for students to see. And a big part of our ticket is we have a lot of returning senators that had leadership positions in student government, and we also have a lot of S.A.V.E members who have held high positions, and I really like what they bring to the table because I believe S.A.V.E always constantly has people come out to their events and have it packed, and that's what I want to bring to student government.
As for getting into the game late, as soon as we made our decision, we hit the ground running. As soon as the two of us filed, we sat down and we talked it out. We formed everything 3 hours straight, nonstop. So we have a game plan, and it's kind of like snowball rolling downhill. We're picking up steam, everything's coming together, and it'll be like an avalanche this week.
Actually, I was actually kind of curious about this. What ideological difference led you guys to break from our ticket? Because that, I know, came as a shock to both of us when you guys left. Was there something that you disagreed with on the platform, or?
Just the way we handled our senators. Whenever I met my ticket, I sat down with them. I asked them, what problems do you see with student government? How are you going to fix these issues? And then I also asked them, what am I doing wrong, and how can I improve myself to help our ticket? Because our goal is to get everyone elected. and I want to make sure they know that's my #1 agenda.
On the other hand, our goal is just not to get everyone elected. Our goal is to build a strong Senate. We want to build a Senate for the future with leaders. Our ticket consists of leaders from different demographics across this campus. I feel Senate as a legislative body cannot function smoothly if we do not have people from different demographics. I feel just how we operate is just inherently different from any other organization on this campus, be it S.A.V.E, be it any other organization on campus, because we are the official student voice. We are that liaison between the administration and the student body. And our mission statement, it says that we're here to enhance the intellectual life of this campus, and we're here to represent different concerns and voice those concerns.
Okay, on that note, you kind of talked about your ticket and the leadership. So we were looking at your Facebook page, and it says that you have experienced leadership. However, between the two of you, you have under about 1.5 years worth of combined experience on Senate. So how do you justify that?
I'm currently the Legislative Affairs Chair in Senate, and even though I joined Senate this year, I was coming to events even before I joined last year's elections. Then I was here throughout the summer. I was one of the 2 delegates to the NACA Institute in Washington, D.C., representing student government, getting to know more about student governments across the nation. Then I was here for, I basically ran the international student pickups, helping pick up 400 international students over the course of the summer. Then I serve on multiple university-wide committees. I serve on the Safety and Security Council, which is the council consisting of all the security forces on campus. I also serve on the Auxiliary Services Committee, which handles all the auxiliary services on this campus, which includes the dining hall, the pub, the vending machines, and all of that. Also, I've served on the Homecoming Ad Hoc Committee, helping organize the homecoming event for student government. I have extensive experience in event planning, so I feel we're I feel you're not short on experience, and where we actually do lack in experience, or if people think that, we'll make it up with our passion.
Mm-hmm. And as for me, I am a freshman. I'm very new to this university, but I'm also very passionate about the university. And that's part of the dynamic between Raj and I. He has been here for a while, he's seen things, but I am also able to bring fresh ideas to the table from that perspective. I jumped into student government hit the ground running. I've served on the Technology Committee, and I'm currently serving on the Residential Student Affairs Committee. I also am serving on the Sustainability Subcommittee, and I served on the Tobacco Advisory Council, where we met with Dr. Daniels, the president, as well as other administrators to advise on new tobacco policies being considered. I also brought essentially the Qualtrics survey software to the student government, which has since become a staple of the Communications Committee in terms of student outreach, and will continue to be used by the student government. So yes, I'm new to Senate this year, but at the same time, I feel like I've been able to get well involved, put my feet down, and really learn what it's about over the course of the year.
Okay. So this is a question that's for both tickets. We'll start with Comet Alliance. What do you think students on campus would say the biggest issue is that student government should address at UT Dallas?
The biggest issue is parking. We've seen it on Facebook. We've seen people complain. And a problem is that students don't know the university is making progress to alleviate these issues. They're planning to build 2 parking garages with 750 spots each. We're trying to develop more surface lots. And we implemented the Comet Cruiser program, which is a golf cart that can carry 14 people from the outer regions of campus. I feel that students aren't informed, and if they are informed and they know that the school is helping them, then those concerns will go down.
Just going off, first of all, I'm just going to address the parking issue. We just built another parking lot right next to the Enserl building with 108 parking spots, I believe. And also, I was at the Parking and Transportation Committee meeting last week during the spring break, and we were just looking at numbers, and at all points of time, there are spots available, parking spots available, even during the busiest hours. We have parking spots available. It's just the number, a lot of people buy the green permit, and just that allocation of different colored permits, that's causing the actual problem. And we are currently looking at reallocating those permits, changing some of the gold spots into green spots so that this problem is alleviated. It's really not a problem of lack of parking spots. It's more of a problem of convenience, I feel. And then talking about the biggest problem I feel the students face is housing. There's been such an outrage because our school or the university is expanding at an astounding rate. We're going to have 22,000 students, as I earlier mentioned, and we're building currently a third res hall, and then we'll be building a fourth residence hall, which we plan, which will house more people than in the current ones. And as people move on to become sophomores or move on to become upperclassmen, they just don't have housing. We just don't have enough apartments on campus. Then graduate and international students coming to this country, coming to this university, they don't have space to live on this campus. That has been a predominant problem. I just posted a status about asking people what they felt was the biggest problem, and I think the clear majority was housing on this campus.
Can I give a point on that?
Go for it.
We noticed that is a big problem with the university, and the problem right now is the university doesn't have the time to build all the apartments necessary at this moment. We want to start a private-public partnership with one of the apartments, like say McCullum, so where they section off a portion of their apartment housing just for university students, and this way they can have a sense of community off campus like they do at other universities like at Texas State or at A&M. So where they, and have accessible bus routes to where they don't have transportation problems from McCullum to the university.
Actually, I'd like to throw out that that's not actually a Comet Alliance initiative. That's something that the Residential Student Affairs Committee, which I serve on, is working on right now in this year's Senate.
Yeah, so Senate's just currently working on it. That has been something that has been brought up consistently, and it's just an issue in progress. It's really not an initiative by some certain group at that.
Can I clear up on that? The head of the RSA committee is our campaign manager, and she's stressed this problem to us many times.
Okay, let's keep moving. So this question is specifically for you, James. So you serve on the Academic Affairs Committee, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the solution to academic dishonesty that you think we could implement here at UT Dallas?
Currently, they just recently revised the discipline, putting it from a uniform to more at the professor's discretion. With academic dishonesty, personally, to solve that, I think informing students more clearly what constitutes academic dishonesty, what's plagiarism, what's collusion, addressing these issues would help students from accidentally stumbling upon these things, especially if they're coming international students that haven't necessarily had the high school education where they stress plagiarism. I definitely feel that was something that was stressed in my high school education was, this is plagiarism, this constitutes collusion, and that was all outlined for me. So when I got here, it was clear. I just think giving students those resources, what constitutes, the different aspects of academic dishonesty would help reduce those problems. And I think instituting definitely a stricter policy, because academic dishonesty is definitely, in our collegiate world, it's not something that should be looked on kindly. We are getting bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and heading towards a professional career. And in the professional world, that's just not tolerated. It would get you fired. It would definitely get you reprimanded for what you've done. So we should treat it in a similar fashion.
Okay. So this next question is for both tickets. We'll start with you guys again, Comet Alliance. So what is UTD's biggest asset as a university, you would say?
It's a growing university. Right now, UT Dallas used to be known as America's best kept secret, but with the popularity it's gaining in Texas and being so small, many students are able to get actively involved on campus and pursue things they would normally not be able to pursue at other universities just due to the huge amount of students applying for it. And so UT Dallas offers many opportunities, and also with our new buildings, they're very modern. We have the LEED Platinum building and our res halls whenever students come and visit, they're like, wow, you live here? This is a hotel. I have to share a 2-bedroom room with somebody. And that's things that are going for us positively.
Aside from growth, I'd say the student body. Our student body is very talented. We have students from business school, from ATech. We have students that are able to design amazing 3D videos. We have students that are able to put together a business plan in hours. And just all of that talent at one location, I think, creates this atmosphere where anything is possible if you reach out to the right people and put together the right team to accomplish your task.
I totally agree with that. I feel our intellectual standards, just how talented our students are. We have the highest highest SAT scores in the state of Texas. We have 52 National Merit Scholars in this freshman class. And I feel such a talented student body. That's what we have going for us. Our intellectual standards, how much the amount of funding that we get for research is just phenomenal. It's astounding. If even bigger schools that are that have more students than us or have been around than what we've been, they'll tell you that we are just getting there. In 10 years, I see UT Dallas being the MIT of the Southwest.
Yeah, I would say student body is great. All of these things are like wonderful aspects of the university. For me personally, and this is the reason why I actually chose to attend UT Dallas, is that the school is ambitious. We have a very concrete program and an outline for where we want the school to go, and we as a university are working very hard to achieve that. We're going to be tier 1 in the next couple of years. We're becoming greater recognition, greater funding for research. Just more and more things are rolling in to make UT Dallas from what is already a great school into a fantastic gem of Texas and of the nation.
Okay, go ahead.
Another point, from that ambition that we see at the university, I think the staff at the university is another asset that definitely helps create this talented student body. We have numerous Ivy League scholars that are in professorships, and they've got numerous professors with published works that have held high business positions in companies, and that, I think, taking that experience and that intellect and translating that to an already talented student body just creates a product that's unsurpassable.
Okay. So this next question is for Comet Alliance. Your ticket's mission includes an effort to foster an atmosphere of pride. So what's a practical step to increasing pride at UT Dallas?
Making students aware of the different events that are happening on campus, sporting events, cultural events, and just like Welcome Week and Springapalooza. If we have more student attendance at the university, students feel surrounded by their peers, and that just helps promote school spirit. And student government is the medium through which students voice their complaints to the administration and concerns. And I feel we have a prominent role in this. And if we further help students alleviate their problems, they're going to feel a sense of school pride because they know that people are working for them to make their living experience a lot better.
Okay. So this next question, again, is for both tickets, and we will start with you guys. So what do you think is the most important thing that UTD can improve upon? And we kind of already talked a little bit about this, so you can hit on what you've already hit on, like parking for you guys, but also maybe something else.
With UTD as a whole, I think there is a sense of, definitely in some communities, there's a sense of apathy. Some of the students don't necessarily participate, or or some of the organizations don't necessarily make the efforts to outreach to the students. So some of the events that are planned have a lower turnout. Some of the surveys that are done don't necessarily reflect the student voice. And with that said, that needs to be increased. Any of the events we plan, we want to see huge turnout, especially student government. I mean, I don't want to put money into something that's not going to draw the students and that's not going to benefit the student body. And definitely when we do surveys, it needs to reflect the student voice with numbers that are larger than 200, with numbers that reflect a significant portion of the student body. I don't think we can sit behind smaller numbers and say, yeah, that's a good representation of the student body, and then pass something based off of that. We need numbers, we need input, and we need to go out and do that. And to do that, I think you have to kind of eliminate an attitude of apathy.
How do you go about doing that? How do you get those numbers in terms of responses to surveys and things like that?
Like you said, there's online tools, but personally to me, I think the value of face-to-face interaction is priceless. I can see the emotions that are shown on your face and your body language. I can see how the issue genuinely affects you. I think making that a not necessarily mandatory, but an expectation of student government. We shouldn't just encourage. It should be an expectation of your job. Senators are representatives, and to do that, we have to advocate for our constituents. And an expectation of that should be face-to-face interaction with who you represent. Not just your friends, not just your classmates, but people outside of that. And to do that, I don't think you can hide behind the internet. I think you have to take a step out of the door and shake hands, say, hi, my name is James, I'm a student senator, what is affecting you today, how can I help you, and how can I make a difference in your education at UTD?
There are 50 senators and 20,000 students. Do you think it's possible for everyone to have a face-to-face conversation?
Yeah, we're just kind of concerned about are there, like,
Specific
you guys have
initiatives.
specific initiatives or objective plans that you have to go and reach out to the student body, because not every senator is going to go meet 4,000 people.
It sounds great to say, like, yeah, we should all talk to everyone, but, like, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Like you
just
said,
not sure.
there's 50 senators, and it's very important that our senators take an active role in student government. We may not reach 20,000 students, but even if we reach 2,000, that's a lot more than the 200 votes we get turned out. And having senators out and about makes people feel that we're actually doing our job and really, truly caring about them.
200 votes, just not sure.
That's fine.
The
So let's
200
go ahead-
votes, that's from recent surveys we've taken.
Oh, okay.
Let's go ahead
Just
and
kinda make sure.
move on and have you guys answer the question. S.A.V.E. So what do you think is the most important thing UTD can improve upon?
Both of us feel that a lack of communication is one of the biggest problems that UT faces. We have so many great programs in place that students just do not know about. There's just so much misinformation amongst the student body. Because whenever I talk to someone, ask them about their problems or things that concern UT students, they always bring up stuff, and I always tell them that there's already a system in place to handle that, and they just do not know about it. And we just gotta work on our advertising, work on just letting students know what we have in place. Because I know what something Alejandro mentioned, Comet Cruiser. People just do not know about Comet Cruiser. Like, currently we have plans of expanding Comet Cruiser so that we have actual buses or shuttles running from parking lots. But I'm just not sure how many people know about it. So that is the biggest problem UTL faces or can improve on.
Okay. We've just got a couple more questions. The first is for you, Raj, specifically. So what have you done as a student at UT Dallas to prove that you can handle the responsibility that student body president brings?
I'm just going to talk something about my background. When I got here as an international student, I had a lot of challenges that I need to overcome. First and foremost was getting to know this country. Second was starting college. And I feel during these 2 years, I've grown as a person at this campus. I've developed that bond with this university. I've held multiple leadership positions. I'm in a fraternity. I'm an orientation team mentor. I have held other leadership positions. I volunteer every couple weeks. And it's just, I feel I've bonded to this university. And at this point, I feel I want to leave a certain part of me at this university. Leave a legacy. When students after me or classes in the future, when they come and they see something happen, I would love to see someone say that's in place because Nate and Rod started that initiative.
Okay.
If I can just add on, managing a team of 23 people throughout this election, printing 5,000 flyers, starting a website and a Facebook page, failing all else, proves that Roz is capable of handling a team in Senate next year.
Okay. And our last question go around to each of you, and it's basically what would you contribute to UTD as president or vice president, whatever you're running for. So we'll start with you guys.
I said, I represent a really diverse group of people. I'm an international student. I'm an undergraduate at this university. I'm a Greek. I'm just involved with all these different organizations on this campus, and I feel I have a wide outreach to this campus. And I can organize a team, as we mentioned, and I have visions for the Senate. I want to make sure we're doing 5 things right instead of 10 things wrong. Currently our problem is not that we're not doing enough. Our problem is that we're focusing on way too much. I have ideas, objective models in place that I'm going to be implementing with Senate, and I want to build a strong Senate. I want to lead a strong Senate for the future.
Okay, Nick?
For me, I think there's several things that I could definitely bring to the vice presidential position in student government. First, I think that I'm very capable in terms of having a conversation with people, whether those people are students or fellow senators or administrators. I'm very good at talking things out, reaching a conclusion, reaching a consensus, and transforming that into action. I also am very passionate about achieving objectives. Once they're set out in front of me, once I have a clear objective, I plan a route to get there, and I take the initiative and make it happen. So, for instance, one of the things that the vice president is constitutionally mandated to cover is the Comet discount program, which has fallen into disrepair during this year. So I've outlined already a strategy to make sure that businesses are participating. This includes talking to the mayor, talking to the Chamber of Commerce, making sure that the Richardson business community is giving something back to UT Dallas for all the money that we give to them. So the ability to have a conversation and the ability to plan and reach an objective effectively, I think, are things that I could bring to the table.
And together we're saving UT Dallas and student government.
Okay, and Comet Alliance. Who wants to go first?
Student government, like I said earlier, is a medium between student body and the administration. And when you have a more cohesive relationship between these entities, a trait I possess is I'm a listener. I listen to what the students say and listen to their concerns. But not only the students, I'm also going to listen to the fellow senators that get elected. They have advice that is very helpful. Many of them have high leadership roles in different organizations, and they've been there, they've done that, so they can give me advice on what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, and what we can do to improve our Senate. And also listening to the administration, because they've been working at this for a while, and their advice is very key.
As vice president, I feel that I bring a consideration for everyone. I feel that any initiative we put in place or any resolution that is passed needs to not just concern one group, but take in the whole everyone as a whole needs to be considered. I don't think you can ostracize one group. I think that's definitely beyond the aim of student government. That goes against everything we do. And with that also, I think I take in all the aspects of what we're looking at. I try to consider what issues we might run into and possible solutions. And when I want to fix a solution, I don't want a Band-Aid. I want something that's going to be lasting, and I try to have the foresight when putting something in place where it's going to overcome the obstacles it might encounter.
Okay. All right, well, that concludes our roundtable. Thanks for coming in and talking to us, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.